started the Kansas City game last time with the onside kick. You knew you guys would need a little bit of juice. Just what what juice do you think you'll need this game? I mean, it's a playoff game. Do you think you'll need a spark?
Yeah, we're going to onside kick again to start the game.
Right or left? Or
Did you guys
no?
get that? Listen, when you're playing, you got to play disciplined football. Number one, you're playing a well-coached team. They're a disciplined football team. We have to be prepared for them too, as they've had a couple of weeks now to really maybe come up with some wrinkles of their own, right? And then that's Coach Reid, and he'll have some wrinkles up his sleeve, I know. But for us, it's just a matter of just staying disciplined and trusting what we're doing and just understand your role within your game plan, right? And just execute each play one at a time.
Do you spend any time on that circle huddle thing that you dropped a couple of weeks ago? I mean, do you have to?
No, I mean, they still have to line up and get set, so it's fun and everything, and it's exciting, and players love it. I mean, I've been there with Coach Reid when things like that happen, and the players are engaged. Players probably came up with it, quite honestly. But you don't have to spend too much time. Eventually, they got to get lined up within the 40-second time limit.
How, like a triangle.
Yeah.
How often do you talk to him? I assume not during the season.
We talk during the season.
Okay.
We do. Obviously, this week's different, and when we played them, a while back. But I still listen. I owe a lot to Coach Reid. My career, not only as a player but as a coach, and I still want to pick his brain and learn. He's been doing this a long time, and he's been really, really successful at it. So anything I can learn and take away from him is a blessing for me.
Well, the interception.
The Dallas game, you have, including last Saturday, 12 turnovers, 7 interceptions and 5 fumbles, but you haven't lost. You worry about that? I mean, how do you break a string of the turnovers? Do you focus on it, emphasize it? Is it a problem?
Yes, you worry about it. We're fortunate. We're very fortunate. We're very fortunate the other night. That doesn't happen, for five takeaways or 5 giveaways and come back and win a football game. That just does not happen. And that's something that we address our team a lot about. And, I don't want to overemphasize it, but at the same time, they have to understand that the seriousness of keeping the football and the seriousness of creating takeaways. And, our defense has also been, getting the ball a little bit here too, so that's been a bonus for us. But, offensively, we just can't give it away like we've been doing in order to win these games, especially now where we're at.
Hey, Doug, after looking at the film, Trevor's interceptions, how many of the 4 were, the first one was tipped, but how many of the 4 were the result of a bad decision?
Probably 2 of them, honestly. But listen, he gets credit for 4, and it's unfortunate that happened. But we don't make excuses for it. We just look at it. We try to correct it. And as coaches, we help our players. Not turn the ball over, and especially the quarterback. So he understands it. We understand it, and hopefully we're better for it.
And I was going to ask you what you learned about Trevor the other night, but you probably already knew that he had the type of character to bounce back from that and do what he did in the second half.
You saw it during the game, just the expression on his face. He never wavered. A play like that's going to happen. You don't want it to happen, but it does. And when it does, you shake it off. You move on. You move to the next play, and he did a great job of that. And so that's a credit to where he is, from a maturity standpoint in his development.
Doug, have you ever played for a coach that was up and down, personality-wise, demeanor-wise, and if so, is that kind of why you always make it a point to be?
Which coach are you referring to?
Anyone, any level. Like, did you play for a guy like that, and did that influence the way you kind of treat and make sure that you're always even keeled?
The coaches I've played for were all very level-headed demeanor. Never got too high, never got too low. Yeah, they can get emotional, but never really coached that way. Stayed level-headed, and that's probably where I get some of it from. Just learning from that.
Are you any different in terms of treating this team, treating these players, or demeanor, personality-wise, than you were in Philly at all, or no?
No, I just think you learn from your time where I was before, and sometimes it's big picture, right? It's just sometimes you get you can't see the forest through the trees, and now you kind of look at things a little bit big picture and have a little different perspective, and those are all things that are learned.
I'm sure a lot of coaches have influenced you, but why does it come back to Andy all the time?
Well, when I first went to Green Bay in 1995, okay, until now, how many years is that? It's a lot of years. That's 20, how many? It's 28 years, almost 30 years. So that's 30 years of my professional life that I've been influenced by him. So that's why it always comes back to him.
That's half your life, almost.
It's more than half. What am I? I'm 50. I'll be 55 in 2 weeks. So yeah.
You've had the wind at your back the last couple of weeks with the fans here. Your team's played in the noise, but now you'll have it in your face. And that's a different animal, obviously, in the
man.
playoffs.
Yeah.
So does the last 2 weeks help your team in any way to play in the noise, or how do you get them ready for that?
It does help us, but nothing prepares you for that. I can turn the noise here as loud as I want, and it's not going to make an impact. But it's loud for them. It's loud for their defense, and we both have to play in it, obviously. But it's a great atmosphere, and these fans are they're passionate about the Chiefs, obviously, and it's the loudest for a reason. And we've just got to be able to go in there and it just focuses you in, more specifically on your job. You got to be able to hear in the huddle, things of that nature, and you just got to have a lot of the nonverbal communication, on point.
Does it help at all having already been there this year, or is playoffs just kind of a different animal?
No, it does. It does. Just the environment, being there, seeing it. Some of the guys haven't been there before, and having gone there, during the season helps a little bit. But this will be different. Playoff football is different. The crowds are different, and this one will be pretty loud.
Doug, what kind of season did Chris Jones have on the defensive line for them?
He's had a great season. This guy, probably one of the best, if not the best we've seen, this season. And we've played some good ones. These interior D linemen, and he's explosive. He's powerful. He can move guys off spots, rush the passer. I mean, it's just there's not a whole lot he can't do. And we've got to be, understand where he is. Teams try to put as many hands on him as possible, and he still gets there. So, great player, a lot of respect for him. Love watching him play, and also, our guys understand that, and they'll play hard.
Because you guys have had this late surge kind of come out of nowhere about as much as any other team in the playoffs. There's the narrative out there that, okay, now the Jaguars are playing with house money, but your experience as a coach and player, I mean, you can't just say, well, if we don't win this week, not a big deal, we'll play with house money. But I mean, you have to embrace these opportunities. There's no guarantee you're going to keep getting them year after year after year.
Whether it's our money or house money, we're here. And it's a credit to those players in the locker room and the coaching staff for, believing in each other, obviously working hard. What we've done down the stretch, regardless of the mishaps, we're here, I try to block out the best I can with the team. You just block out the noise. You block out the negativity. You block out whether it's lack of respect or whatever. We have a young quarterback, whatever it might be. We're one of 4 in the AFC left. And that says a lot. It says a lot about these guys. And, we're excited for the opportunity.
Are you aware? Go ahead.
A lot of people would consider, having to go to Arrowhead, as probably as much as a daunting task as I guess any other venue that you would go to, right? But what would be your message to your players? I mean, I would think it would be to embrace this opportunity, no matter how challenging it may seem. Sometimes, trying to overcome the biggest odds.
You're right. You're right. And you kind of took the words out of my mouth. I mean, it's a great atmosphere. We got to embrace it. No one expects us to do anything. So go play, have fun, enjoy the moment. And let's see what happens. We've put ourselves in this position to be one of the 4 remaining AFC teams, and you got a lot to play for. And whether we win, whether we lose, our season was a huge success. From that standpoint, first year together, overcome a lot of adversity from last year to this year, and pushing these guys through, and just go play and have fun.
Are you aware that Trevor Lawrence has never lost a game on a Saturday?
This guy.
37-0. High school, college, and pros.
He's not the first one to say it.
That's pretty impressive.
Nah, yeah, a lot. Next question.
You should do that every time you say
You're absolutely right.
Do you go back to that Week 10 game and looking at it with fresh eyes this week, do you see anything that stands out that, will help you
Yeah,
win?
I do. And we study that one, but I think offensively, we know we can play better. We didn't execute early in that game very well. Had opportunities. We missed some kicks early that probably could have kept us in the football game, made it a little bit closer. We had a touchdown called back, things of that nature. We just got to execute better looking at that. And defensively, we settled down in the second half. But again, just the mental mistakes, the errors that we made of, being out of position or, out of alignments and gaps and things of that nature. So, yeah, we'll go back and obviously look at that. We've made the corrections since then. And hopefully go out and put a four-quarter game together.
Cisco had two pretty big hits in that game. In your experience, is that something that lingers in like the opposing team's minds when they get another shot?
No,
Not really.
I mean, it's usually over with, so, yeah, no.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Doug.
Appreciate it.
Feel free to answer